and starts that ripple effect, like, there's something wrong.
And of course, this is the only game of the series where Origen will be on the red side. They opted into it as they had side choice on games 1, 3, and 5. Unicorns made one small pivot on their pick ban strategy in the last game. It was allowing the Jhin to go through. This time around, Azir still on the table. So let's take a look. Lulu, Orianna, Azir, all mid lane bans from Unicorns of Love. Rise, Thresh, and there's one remaining for Origen to remove.
And what this does is put pressure now on PowerOfEvil. He can't blind pick something like his Ori, something like a Lulu. Does he go for the likes of Alistar? Does he look for, you know, the Varus that he's played? He feels comfortable enough to blind pick that in the last game, so why wouldn't he feel comfortable to do it in this?
I think it almost forces him to go with an immobile mid laner, though, and then Unicorns of Love can punish that. Lissandra will be the final ban out from Origen. So yeah, I'm actually interested to see where PowerOfEvil goes from here, but they are on red side, so they do have that final pickup regardless, and they're going to see what Unicorns of Love are going to put forward first.
Now, I wonder, were they maybe thinking, okay, Siv is available, Alistar's available, Nidalee's available, a lot of big tier picks here, but you may have been able to just take the Lissandra here on first rotation. It's not the best of picks, but looking at blind pickable mids, I guess Corki is the other option.
Yeah,
that is up
that's a good
here.
call.
There is one catch for that. Fox, we know, likes to play those assassins. He has played a lot of Leblanc, a lot of Zed in the past, so if PoE goes for something like that, there is some options for Fox to work around, but that is something we'll have to see later in the draft. For now, Alistar, Trundle, Poppy, it's all the tanks, all the front lines that are being locked in.
Yeah, Mithy had a really good performance on Trundle as well, and I really like picking Trundle and Poppy in the same rotation, so you can't pick the Trundle into the Poppy, and I think Soaz will do fine on the Poppy once again. I think it's just a solid first rotation.
What it does do, however, is obviously lock down your top lane, lock down your support. So now we know it's PowerOfEvil getting the counter pick in mid lane, which explains why that they took away some of these blind pickable champions from Fox. Now they actually are relying on PowerOfEvil's counter pick mid lane, which is something that the Unicorns used to do very often when Power was on their lineup.
I mean, unless Gragas gets taken away right now, Origen could just build the exact same team comp. Jhin is available, Varus is available, Gragas still currently available. So, you know, don't fix what's not broken if Origen wanted to go that route, but of course, it does depend on what Unicorns of Love decide to prioritize. They've got 8 seconds left on their next rotation, and we're seeing similar moves, but this time instead of the Lee Sin, it is the Nidalee for the Unicorns of Love.
I like the Lucian, though. It worked really well for Steelback. He had like 10 kills, 10, 2, and 4 at the end of that game, and honestly, if the team had maybe had a little bit more for him, he could have pretty much solo carried fights at the end. The problem was Fox, he was getting good engagements earlier on in the series.
How did we forget Sivir?
Sivir was available for a first pick if it was up. It's still available, and that kind of tells me that it wasn't really high priority for both of these teams.
Banned in both previous games.
It has been, but what I mean is the priority hasn't really been focused on that Sivir in this draft so far. The Alistar was the first pick, and then we had 2 full rotations of the Sivir.
Well, let's find out if Origen decides to prioritize it this time around. We already noticed during the course of this series that Maokai's not been as important as yesterday. And of course, the ever question of Azir or Lulu, who's more important, doesn't matter either, because they've both been bad in all 3 games. Neither team's going to have the option to drop themselves. So Sivir and Lee Sin locked in.
Yeah, I really like the Sivir here into this composition. You have a strong front line, you just get them further into the team, and Unicorns of Love, I mean, did they really want to pick the Sivir with like a Nidalee, and they're building a different type of composition, so it almost kind of gifted it over to Origen, and the rest of the bans went towards the mid lane onto PowerOfEvil, so they really need to exploit PowerOfEvil to make their ban phase work.
This is the first game we're seeing of Zven on Sivir, though. Steelback had played 3 coming into this series, so now what's the adjustment that's been made? It's a style that Origen haven't really played too much. Zven, if he doesn't get super far ahead, can't really deal with too much of tank pressure without it getting super late game. So I do wonder now, how is this going to change what Origen want to do here?
I think it's also very interesting when you consider Zven. This is his 10th AD carry pick in Spring. For contrast, Steelback has played 5 different champions, so a significant difference. Corki locked in for Fox in the mid lane. Chachi's going to get his hands on that Gangplank again, but there's tools to run down this back line, tools to run past the barrels. The condition is you have to run through them, right? So there is some risks here trying to get to UOL's backline.
Now the question, what's PowerOfEvil been sitting on for these last 2 weeks? What's he got available? Does he opt for something that we've seen out of him time and time again, the Syndra, which I don't know whether I particularly like, into the Corki, but will blow it up very effectively. He doesn't really have his comfort blind picks. Orianna Lulu banned away, so now he's looking to a counter pick. Not too many champions that straight up counter pick the Corki in the lane. They also could do with a source of magic damage coming out here, so I guess the Leblanc would be the snowballing pick here, but isn't the easiest of matches. Does tend to burst down the Corki fairly effectively. You can dodge out the Phosphorus Bomb, but certainly if you don't get ahead, it's a tough one. But with the amount of mobility, movement, and dive potential that you can see from Origen, they want to get that Leblanc rolling.
Well, Leblanc's only been picked once by PowerOfEvil, and if memory serves, he went like 0-8 in that game and just didn't do very well. So it's put him on something he's just not very comfortable on, and maybe this was actually a very smart pick and ban phase from Unicorns. We'll just have to see.
He actually had a pretty good game on it. Leblanc was played 2 games as well by Xpeke. So it's a pick we've seen from him a couple of times now. Into this Corki matchup, it's one we see from time to time. So now, can Origen look to close the door on the Unicorns fast in this series? 3 games, this one could end very quickly if Origen start getting ahead again.
And especially because their team comp is somewhat more geared to that early and mid game. As the game continues to play out, I feel that the headroom for growth in terms of that Gangplank, the Lucian, as well as the Corki, is going to become very, very difficult to overcome. For what could be the last time here in Europe today, the coaches shake hands and will be exiting the stage. 80% of you guys at home were in favor of Origen picking up this series earlier today when we asked you. Jump on Twitter and see if you continue to feel that way. This is the first time that we'll see Origen on the red side, and of course, hashtag UOL win. I think they can turn it around now that they're on blue sides.
Yeah, maybe it's the blue side that is getting them the wins, but if that's the case, the next game is going to be 3-1. So, but yeah, different pick and ban phase from a Unicorns, and I kind of like trying to exploit PowerOfEvil.
I want to see if they can. I want to see if PowerOfEvil's going to be in trouble this game. He's got a bit more of a carry pants on with LeBlanc pick, but also more importantly, there is that picture of Origen from semi-final, from Madrid rather, where they were on the final stage. Stockholm. Oh, it was Stockholm summer last year. Regardless of that fact, let's jump into the rift because these are the flags. Unicorns of Love fighting for their life. They're down 0-2.
It's okay. We just need somebody to go up there, either Photoshop over, like paste on with this scrapbook style, PowerOfEvil's face over Peke, be like, we've changed you from history. Either that or, you know, that Snapchat really annoying face swap thing that everybody's like, oh, how funny is it that I can face swap? Well, that's what Origen want to do.
Not funny.
Series.
Well, crowds turned themselves around.
If that doesn't get you hyped, I don't know what will.
The Unicorn fans earlier have been trumped.
Turncoats.
Or that is another possibility.
Does that mean they built a wall down the middle and like separated the Unicorn from the Origen's fan?
Everybody's very fair and fun here. This isn't a British football game. Regardless of that fact, this is the first time that Origen have not got themselves a aggressive or cheeky early game. In the very first matchup, they were able to pull off that lane swap and then punish Chachi. The second game, they invaded very early on, and again, punished Chachi. This time around, lane swap initiated by Origen, and Mithy's going to have the support of Zven, bullying Chachi.
Yeah, he's going to try and push them away here. Actually, gets the reset on the Merkel. Generally don't see it go that well for the support, but that's going to put Unicorns of Love behind by good 7-8 seconds.
I want to see what the ripple effect here, though, of Zven not being up in the top side. We know Sivir pushes very effectively into the tower, but Lucian was pushing bottom side first. This time, Steelback has that initial sort of momentum into the tower. Now for Origen, do they push this into tower quite as fast is the real key factor.
Well, we'll find out if they can. Luckily for Origen, they've got that Sivir, which is going to be exceptionally good for pushing into tower at level 2. PowerOfEvil takes advantage of the early trades, uses that Thunderlords and pushes bots backwards. Once again, fervor of battles on the ADCs. Not seeing anything super surprising, and now the tower's under threat.
Yeah, we've started seeing a little bit more Grasp of the Undying around the place, seeing it on supports every now and again. Trundle's a fairly trade-heavy support, and keep in mind when he puts down the Frozen Domain as well, gets that extra health back on the regeneration, so Grasp tends to be fairly effective on him. It's why we see it from time to time. We've even seen it on like Nautilus support a couple of times.
Rom a couple times.
Yeah,
as well.
Rom a couple.
Generally people who build like some health to actually make it worthwhile, but it's actually nice and lane. we also saw Kasing run like Thunderlords on Thresh the other day. So like it's good just for extra pressure.
Talking about some of the other shenanigans, no mid lane teleport this time around. Nope. Flash Ignite for PowerOfEvil, Flash Exhaust for Fox. Important to note that that's the only exhaust. You've got an Ignite on Hylissang. So if Soaz or Amazing go off, that could be problematic. But taking a look at the towers, Chachi again just a few seconds behind. Nothing really major just yet because it looks like the recall's already come in for the duos.
Yeah, and that's the advantage of the Sivir, being able to push top. We were questioning, was it fast enough? Yes, it was. And also to touch on that teleport mid lane point, so Fox will have the package available. Leblanc roams fairly effectively on her own anyway, so it does mean that you won't see those, instant reaction TP plays into a 2v2.
The river.
Not again. Not again, Chachi.
Not in a good position. He does have flash, remember.
And Sven's not there.
Yeah, he just wants to farm the minions. So Mithy's going to get some extra damage down. He's going to utilize the grasp and go back off the tower.
You know what? That's our bad. We sold him out before we evaluated the threat, right? So,
well,
this time round,
we just expected history to repeat itself, right? Like, we've seen that situation multiple times, but props to Chachi, he gets out. I mean, he just walked away, but props.
Still counts, right? It is a significant improvement from the two previous games. So, lane swap is now going to put the duos inverted. So, Unicorns of Love shoving up top, Origen shoving down bottom. No real surprises. A number of pink wards more in the Unicorns of Love inventory, so this will allow them to at least apply some deep vision or some defensive vision. And I want to just keep an eye on where they actually place those wards.
Yeah, pressure being exerted in the middle lane. Bottom tower is now also being pushed up, and of course Chachi's going to go into the top side as well. And we're just going to see another tower trade. So in the mid lane, we saw PowerOfEvil pushing up a lot against Fox. It looked like he was having the pressure advantage, but that hasn't culminated actually into a CS advantage at all. And I think now that it's resolving into tower, Fox is actually going to be ahead.
And I also think, Pulse, this lane swap is already a clear improvement for Unicorns of Love in Gangplank.
Oh, yeah.
I know that is like a silly thing to say, I guess, but we're not seeing out of position. We're seeing the matching tempo for tempo. Even a slightly early priority here on this Rift Herald. Origen most likely going to be late to the party, but the tower will fall and then the Herald after.
Origen are ahead of the curve though. Look at this. Because of the way Unicorns split focus on the Rift Herald early, it means that Unicorns are late for the push, but will get the buff for themselves.
Oh no.
It depends on how they utilize that.
Steelback, if he cancels this teleport or recall, could be in trouble. The barrel comes down from Chachi. Mithy's going to sidestep, follows on with the resonating strike. Amazing's looking for more. The javelin toss, as well as the Rift Herald, comes in for support, and Unicorns get the tower, get the Herald, and they get out alive.
Yeah, they were a little greedy. Ooh, Steelback. No, it's not going to be enough to kill him at this point, but we're a little bit greedy on that play to try and take both at the same time. Normally you'll see the turret go down, then the Rift Herald attempt. It buys you that little bit of extra time, and Origen had pushed out the bottom lane faster. Fox and PowerOfEvil, though, trading.
PowerOfEvil used the chain. Unfortunately, it was on a minion, so Fox comes out better in the situation. He's also picked up a very early Hex Drinker, so that is a gigantic swing in the matchup. And Amazing may want to affect this even more, Pulse. Amazing's going to look for the chains. This time it connected.
The ward jump, PowerOfEvil this time connects the chains, but that's going to be the fast exhaust onto Amazing. A lot of return damage with the Thunderlords coming in, and Fox doesn't quite pick up the kill. Maybe gets a 25 gold from the clone. Not even that.
Yeah, at that point, Fox had the exhaust available, utilized it on Amazing in the middle lane as he dove under the turret. There was perhaps kill pressure on PowerOfEvil as he still had the Ignite, so it gives him a lane advantage right now, especially with Fox now having that flash down, but Amazing took a lot of damage, didn't have to flash himself. Power used his.
Right, this time around, PowerOfEvil's going to wave clear as best he can, sidesteps the threat of a javelin toss, and is able to survive. So both teams very, very even on gold. 300 separates them. CS is basically even across the board, about one wave difference in mid and ADC. And just looking at summoner spells, it's only the mid lane that's really negatively affected. So lanes should start to normalize now. You can see Poppy finding Gangplank. And at some point, Zven will come to this middle lane to just play wave clear duty, as all Sivers always do.
PowerOfEvil right now has picked up some extra mana regen here. It doesn't quite fit into his initial item. Ooh, Fox should be okay here. He does...
Oh, no, big flash, and that's just a perfect setup. First Blood comes in. Ignite doesn't even have to be used. So well played by Amazing.
I was going to say, I thought Fox was okay, but just the way the kick flash came out, Amazing patiently played it. That's the key thing. Even though Amazing went in aggressive under the tower early, didn't have to use his flash, still had it available and punishes Fox for not having his.
Yeah, the push is now coming in from Origen. They're not going to pick up the tower. They're going to be pushed away by Loulex and Hylissang. I just really want to praise the mind games and the thought process from Amazing, because he mind gamed the hell out of Fox. Like, he He walked towards him because he threatened the Q, and if he walks in a straight line, he gets Q'd. If he jukes backwards, which Fox was expecting, then Amazing just walks up and kick flashes. So just really nice setup from Amazing. Something that I didn't think was going to happen. Coming in from the front door, Steelback. Are you Zven? Maybe. He jumps over the wall into 3 people, and the package is being delivered.
And Fox has arrived, turns his attention over to Zven, follows up with a second Valkyrie, and Zven rattles across the boomerang blade. Defensive flash from Mithy, sidesteps a javelin toss, and the chase isn't over yet. The Pillar of Ice might just end it. Light Slinger for the kill. Steelback's on the board.
Mid lane. Oh, Chachi.
Ooh!
Yeah, he's good. He's good. There's no Deathfire grabs this time on Leblanc, so he's good to go.
Rip DFG.
Rip DFG.
Rip DFG at this point.
Deathfire touch. Did I say grasp?
You did.
The memories,
throwback.
man.
I did it last
yeah.
week. It's fine.
What a solid item. It meant that mid lane Alistar was viable and it was a good time.
So Steelback saw Zven and was like, anything you can do last game, I can do better. At this point, there was not a lot of crowd control here. Fox, the package just nudges Mithy out of the way, and that was kind of enough to push Mithy up and out through the top side. So Unicorns were getting just a long extended trade here. A lot was used for it, but ultimately they would end up taking the advantage from this. So many flashes and so many ultimates we used.
And very good play from Steelback, knowing the limits of his damage, knowing the range, connecting with everything he needed to, and manages to at least pick up a kill. So Unicorns marginally ahead as far as gold is concerned. And if Unicorns can rally behind Steelback in a similar sort of performance, maybe that's how they can turn their fortunes around, especially when there's a free mid tower. No one here from Origen to defend, although the numbers are coming. Look on the minimap. 4 members of Origen are looking to close in, and Fox is a target.
Well, they're going to try and punish. The chains don't quite lock down Fox on this one, and Steelback will put a little bit of damage onto Soaz. Ultimately, the tower survives, but it's very low to death.
The thing is, this composition wants to be the aggressive comp out from Origen. They want to be the ones that start to fight with this Leblanc, with this Poppy. The only real wave player they have that is safe is on Zven. So for them to be in a situation where they're defending against a 4-person tower push, they can only go aggressive to try and stop it. Oh, Zven.
Well, his wave play is made easier.
I see you, Zven.
When he has blue buff. All right, challenge down bottom. 2v1. Chachi standing on a barrel, uses it onto Amazing, and this should be a fairly easy kill. It is, and Soaz picks it up.
Yeah, by the book. I mean, there's not much to say about that apart from Chachi being caught out.
Kicks him into the wall,
Yeah,
pushes him into the wall.
Bop.
Yeah.
Just trying to say bopped him on the head.
Yeah.
Good
Can you bop someone with your foot? I don't know. I think that's a little violent. It's like roundhouse kick, bop. Like, I don't think that works.
Still counts.
All
Right. PowerOfEvil's going to do a little bit of poke onto Fox. And remember, Zven was able to steal that blue buff away, so Fox's wave clear has been negatively impacted, especially because he has no mana. That's pretty useful on a Corki.
I mean, the reason... So, this is very kind of like nitpicky, but he hasn't got anything towards the mana crystal item, so he's kind of gone down in his ability to wave clear over a long period.
Oh, well, PowerOfEvil jumping back onto the distortion pad, and that's just going to result in a kill over to Chachi. Yeah, sure, I'll take that from bot lane. I mean, I'm just farming away. I guess I'll take a kill in mid lane. That was weird.
Oops, I think is what sums that one up. PowerOfEvil with a little bit of a misplay. Maybe not quite as comfortable on this Leblanc this game as we've seen in the past. Certainly hasn't had the best of starts to the game.
Yeah, I'm dumb. I said he had a bad game. He had a really good game. He got 8 kills, not 8 deaths. And yeah, he did really well in that one. Less good in this game, so maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all and being like, he's had 2 bad performances.
Spreadsheets can be hard.
Yes.
Yes, it's when...
Thank you for the correction. Fair play to you.
Problem.
It's when you get the losses and kills column, like, man, they've lost 15 games on this. Oh, dear.
There hasn't even been 15 games, but
while
okay.
Chachi may be in some trouble. Amazing is going forward. Kick flashes. There's not a lot of support yet. Trying to buy time. Look at the mini-map. Here comes Fox. Amazing. Bought up some more time. PowerOfEvil wasn't able to get there in quickly enough, and that means flash.
Yeah,
Amazing.
That was a weird one. Amazing.
It's just like, Power, why didn't you flash, bro, to get in range? But even then, he wouldn't be in range. I think there was just a miscall. I think he saw him in the bottom lane, was like, I just assume Leblanc can catch up with double distortion, but wasn't quite there.
No, he wasn't. And Hylissang's going to zone away Amazing, despite the resonating strike connecting. Amazing, level 8, down 1 to Loulex's Nidalee, but Loulex has only got a small farm advantage this time around. In the first game of the day, he was running the Nidalee and did significantly better. But Origen are starting to defend their tower. A little bit more threat here for Hylissang. Ethereal Change will connect and root Hylissang in place. Boomerang Blade finds a target as well, and slightly awkward exchange of spells over the last few minutes. A lot blown for nothing gained.
Steelback constantly going aggressive though, time and time again, looking for those plays with the culling, darting forward as well. Hylissang could have been caught out there, but you could see as soon as Power was about to take a spear, had to pull back, jump back to the distortion, and that meant that Origen's kill pressure was actually gone.
Well, if Steelback keeps playing aggressive, Origen could find a way to punish it. Loulex, he's the one going aggressive. He's pounced on Mithy.
Yeah, he's going to be backing away. That was a good pillar. If Loulex decides to go in, he wasn't getting out again. So, yeah, nice placement by Mithy.
Good damage though, overall, onto the support. Now top lane, there's a trade.
All right, Soaz is going to throw down the Keeper's Verdict, continues to chase down Vizicsacsi. Heroic Charge will be up in 2 seconds' time. Barrel gets popped, and Soaz is going to charge forward. Minion's going to be helping out. Flash for flash, and Soaz wins the 1v1.
Oh, mid lane. It looked like a fight. It was actually just farming. That's me jumping the gun. I saw the tower go down. I was like, oh, they're going to fight. But getting a little antsy. This is a calmer game than the last couple of beats.
I felt quite antsy. Every time action jumps out, I'm getting hype, and then it slightly fizzles.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of champion in this game which can instantly just pop a fight, like the package comes in or PowerOfEvil jumps in with double distortion. So fights can break out very easily. Loulex is now jumping onto this dragon, and I don't think anyone's going to stop him.
These are some of the more action-packed games than we've had in the last
month series.
Oh wow. What's this? Oh, this is a tower going down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Alistar's going well. Bam.
I like it.
Dramatic reenactment of what it looked like.
Is it a reenactment if it's just a replay? Like, don't you need other people to
I mean, it was a
perform
dramatic
the same?
replay,
Okay.
but I just wanted to try to say a fancier word.
All right.
Okay.
Down in the bottom lane,
Critical
Fox
failure.
picked up the package and is going to shove the wave out. Vizicsacsi once again in some trouble. Amazing. No flash available. Basically just eats a powder keg and is forced to walk away. And after that first kill, amazing. He's trying to make picks happen, but he's not finding success just yet, Pulse.
I think you have to in a game like this. When you're running Leblanc mid, and they were kind of forced to with the bans that came out from Unicorns of Love, that he couldn't play a control mage, so now we need to accelerate the early game, and it definitely puts the onus on Origen to try and do that, but Unicorns of Love are actually ahead. So it feels like when Origen are having to make the aggressive plays, take that crap, then Origen will fall behind because Unicorns of Love can kind of make those reactive plays, which I feel that maybe a little bit better at.
Yeah, and of course, Unicorns of Love showed that once they were in standard lanes, they actually performed better than in the lane swap. In terms of the sample size, went even this time round, but still bit off a little more than they could chew in that top lane. Close, a lot of damage on Zven. Origen found a way to pick up kills in mid, found a way to almost punish top lane, so it just feels like Origen are playing the lane swap basics and decisions around it better.
But how the game has gone from that feels very similar to how last game went. Unicorns, they have this lead for the early game and they're slowly extending it. But Origen, if they can get that good fight that they got in the last game, maybe pick off Hylissang. We've seen a couple of times where Hyli has been slightly out of position. The same with Chachi. One of those can kind of compound the game now into perhaps Origen taking at least a comeback. But it's kind of tough to call because Chachi, this game is actually on par with Farm and Soaz. The last game, Chachi was significantly further ahead, so maybe there's an option there for Origen if they can get this Poppy rolling.
Well, when is the point in the game where Unicorns of Love want to start turning on? Because right now, it just seems like farming is the name of the game. See if Origen make a play, and then we can react to it, and then generally just farm up. Like, calls are being picked up by both AD carries, and it seems like you don't want a lot of interaction until you hit, like, later mid-game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're looking for the Triforce and second item now. So Fox's Triforce and Steelback second item, to be specific on that. Hyli wants maybe to go aggressive. You can see him just posturing towards that middle lane, shows his head, doesn't really feel like going in, so moves back around and out. But right now, Chachi's accepting a wave in the top lane. Wave's been pushed out in the bottom side, and that is being picked up by Fox as well. So there's no real reason to fight on the middle part of the map.
Only one dragon's been taken so far as well, picked up by Unicorns of Love. Origen yet to contest on that one. We've not seen dragon priority for Origen, which is actually somewhat of a change from the regular split, where Origen was still playing maybe an older school style, just picking up dragons where appropriate. PowerOfEvil is going to start to recall here, and Hylissang is he thinking about this? Flash, pulverize, he's caught PoE, and the javelin
into the
stepped
spear,
away.
but he had just the right amount of frames to jump out of there with distortion. He must be mashing that key so hard to get out of there.
I mean, that's the second kind of engage like that one from either team that has just been a lot used to try and kill one person.
PowerOfEvil did not like the threat and he's turned it around. Mithy's already used Subjugate, but he stopped the front line. Zven and Mithy are taking a lot of damage from the cannon barrage, and Loulex has been punished for his invade. Chachi is teleported in, but there's a flash away. Zven's dropped.
Chachi turns it around. He's going to hit this barrel and try and get the speed up, but a nice pillar will keep him in place. PowerOfEvil, meanwhile, is a little bit stranded. Hylissang this time doesn't have the flash, so he can't get in range. That was ultimately a 1-for-1 for both teams.
And it was a two-pronged fight that we split because Amazing and Soaz were going aggressive.
Now it's a three-pronged fight. Hylissang has found Soaz and Amazing. Chachi wants to run them down and cut off the escape path. PowerOfEvil needs to run all the way from the middle lane, and Fox is getting the damage down onto Soaz and Amazing. That front line is being melted slowly. A dash away, barrels won't find anyone.
No, it was just a prank, bro. No team fight here. And they will be back in half. But Mithy may be caught out. Fox goes forward, but Rockets don't have CC, so he's not going to go down.
I'm pretty sure that's called a social experiment these days, Pulse. And, you know, there was a bit of an experiment from Amazing and Soaz trying to go aggressive onto Steelback. We didn't see it on the main screen because it was happening during the fight at the blue buff. Watch on the mini-map for the second part of this fight because this was the initial part. PowerOfEvil and Mithy fighting with Loulex and Hylissang in the jungle. Watch mid lane while you're watching this fight as well. Hope you got split vision if you can. Oh, observers can zoom out. So look, they were focusing down on Steelback, and this is why Unicorns had so much freedom to take out Zven. Because, yeah, how far can we zoom? Science has gone too far. Amazing and Soaz didn't get anything from the middle lane there. Steelback
Zoom in. How far can we zoom in?
Enhance.
Turn 70 degrees.
I want to see the reflection in Lucian's eye. Soaz and Amazing coming in.
And from that, we have determined it was a 1-for-1.
And at 20 minutes, that 1-for-1 puts Unicorns of Love around 2,000 gold up over Origen. Story that we've said before in the previous game. But this time around, Unicorns have got a dragon to their name, an additional tower to their name. The map play is a little bit more open, but Unicorns, they're pushing deep into Origen's jungle, and it's almost reckless. It's almost dangerous.
Almost, not quite. Not really sure where I was going with that one, guys. Origen, pushing around the middle lane. We might have an engage from Mithy.
It's kind of cruel, but after the Spring Split last year, almost reckless. Would that be like somebody else's biography on Steelback? Because he's certainly come back into his own now, and we've seen Fnatic get through from the first round of the quarterfinals. Now Origen, you know, are looking to take this. They're 2 games up, but Steelback has been having such good performances. Game 1, Game 2. It hasn't been enough for the Unicorns, unfortunately.
Dragon picked up by Origen while Soaz was dueling with Chachi, and yeah, the Unicorns, as you mentioned in the pre-game stress, their key backbones starting to fall apart. A gigantic package is delivered, and Zven's going down.
He will be the first casualty of the fight, and I don't think he's going to be the last. Mithy will be dropping here for sure, and Fox will pick up that kill. That's going to be the Zhonya's coming out from Loulex to prevent any more damage from coming in. Soaz in the top lane didn't even want to TP into the fight.
Didn't want to get there, but the Unicorns seem to be going from strength to strength in this game. You know, Zven's been caught out a couple of times. We said, coming into Game 1, Zven's been caught out more recently than we've seen in previous times. This game seems to be more of that.
And the question was answered. What were Unicorns of Love looking for before they played aggressive? It was the Trinity Force pickup for Fox. It was an additional BF sword for Chachi. And you see them again, there's no hesitation. When an opportunity is presented, Unicorns are pushing for it. Yeah, they Gatling cannon.
Oh, that is one of my favorite and least favorite spectator issues. The perma Gatling gun. But Mithy caught out, just kind of falls on this
one. You know what? Origen again, without their front line. Origen again, you know, Soaz is playing the split push game. He's not with the team. And it's just so easy for PowerOfEvil to get run over.
Yeah, it truly is. And right now, there's a fight around red buff. I don't really think Origen should commit to this straight away. I mean, they can take away the red buff if they want, but don't really choose to fight. They got Loulex.
They're pretty good in jungle fights, though. There's a lot of walls to slam them into, and Hylissang will get a good knock-up, and Zven just gets deleted Now Soaz will be backing away, and the chase continues. Chachi will land the barrel onto Soaz. He should be going down here. PowerOfEvil will go out of there, and Soaz, he's ticking down, but he's still alive. PowerOfEvil looking for a snipe onto the side, but there is a ward there, so they know where he is. Meanwhile, Loulex has been called out, but he still has Zhonya's, remember. Now in the bot lane. Amazing. What are you doing, bro?
He played bowling, and there's another good hit. Soaz saves Amazing's life this time round. A chain should stop Chachi where he stands. Loulex pounces forward, but has no mana for a follow-up javelin. And these have just been messy team fights. It's a 1-for-0, but that took a long time to conclude.
Took a really long time, but Zven is about... Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he is out of there.
I think he got...
a huge deletion.
Yep, there we go, there we go. For Sean's, that one's for you. But it's like, oh, look, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. PowerOfEvil decides to jump forward. No, that's a clone. That was just a clone, but Soaz comes in with the buckler. He's going to prevent any escapes for a moment or two. Before he continues to run down, decides to chase forward. The stun doesn't connect against the wall. Let's go back in. Why not? They trade kills 1-for-1. There's pressure from the back line. Chachi, he teleported for this one. He's teleported to donate to kill. We are in Bizarro world. Steelback gets exhausted, means he doesn't get the kill. Mithy's on 200 hit points, decides to re-engage. Steelback cut down. Loulex follows soon. He goes golden for a few more seconds, but kill will be secured by Zven, and Origen find 4.
Ultimately, Zven died to start it all off and comes back to finish the fight. I mean, this is just crazy amounts of fighting between Unicorns of Unicorns of Love and Origen. Man, I am losing it right now because there's so much
I dare say that was a little over-aggressive by Origen, by Unicorns of Love, by both teams. I don't know what just happened.
It just looked like Unicorns of Love were annihilated. The goal differential is at 3,000, and Hylissang, he's decided to engage. Wants to go the one-man band, has an unbreakable will to buy some time, but I don't think he's going to be able to steal a Baron. Will be secured here by Origen safely, and they'll get themselves some steak for dinner.
Here comes Fox.
Okay, are you good? You think he's going to go in? Why not? Valk forward. Drop the package. That's pretty much what's happening.
Does he have it?
No, I don't know. I'm just being hopeful.
I'm assuming he doesn't right now.
Yeah, he was in range if he had it.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume, though.
Whew, okay.
Okay, to start up this craziness.
Let's calm down and see it all again. So this actually wasn't the start. So Zven has respawned by now and actually runs top before all of this. So that's how long this fight was. Zven had time to go and try and collect some farm and then come down. Does he actually farm that way though? Yes, he does.
I mean, he's Sivir, so he'll kill it very quickly.
Yeah, he does, but that's how long this fight goes on for. Soaz goes aggressive. He's still top lane. Look. Zven ultimately gets a double kill from this fight and he's still top. So PowerOfEvil goes in and trades the 1-for-1. I didn't realize this fight went on for that long.
Oh, it really, really did.
Yeah, I'm glad we got 2 of you here.
I definitely can't wait to hear what the analysts have to say about this game, because I think the term they might want to use is Clown Fiesta, but it just feels so scrappy and messy and reactionary. And because Unicorn's overcommitted, it means they've lost Baron. Soaz is now caught. He's going to take everyone on a run, but he's still got a hammer, and he's going to throw it out, but not too much avail.
No, he's dead, and now Loulex is over the wall. This is going to be the chase in by Origen, though. They lost Soaz, but they have the positioning to maybe pick up the kill and return. Fox is locked in there with 3 members from Origen. Zven almost goes down, but he'll be living to fight another day. That was a 1-for-1.
Mithy with another great Trundle pillar here, and honestly, we talked about his Alistar coming into game 1 of this series, and his Trundle in game 2. Mithy has been back on point. I think you look at some of Mithy's performances over the last couple of weeks, you could say that it was just not quite the same that we've expected from him, but Origen have gone from strength to strength, and Mithy is back with a vengeance in this series.
Yeah, and it's very, very important for Origen, because all of the questions around how would they perform, what was their strategy, even though this is messy, it is still working out in Origen's favor. Regardless of who closes the series out, they will be playing against H2K next weekend. And you know for a fact that H2K are watching this with hawk eyes. Yankos has already commented a few times on Twitter, and we'll be looking forward to that matchup.
That's normally the death knell, though. I saw Yankos tweet, well, looks like we're facing Origen. don't see what Unicorns can do to come back in this series. I'm like, that's optimistic. Yeah, because I've seen that backfire once or twice before.
I think this game could definitely go either way, but it's Unicorns of Love having to win 3 games in a row. Origen for sure have looked better in this series. I agree, it's been messy. There has been relative control, but you go up against a team like H2K, I still feel like Origen or definitely Unicorns of Love will get dismantled.
This is very similar, though, to Game 2, how, again, it all comes from a fight that Unicorns just don't really take in the smartest way, and it turns into a Baron. Baron turns into now a small lead for Origen, or now they're slightly behind because of the farm that was picked up in the last few minutes from, or the last couple of seconds from the Unicorns. But still, it's back to an even game right now, whereas Unicorns did have themselves a lead.
Yeah, quite a sizable one, actually. Around 4,000 gold at its peak. And Origen with Baron, and that Baron power play that was nearly 3,000 gold. I'm rounding up, Pulse. Works out in favor of Origen. They've regained complete control. They've got themselves inner turrets to take down in all 3 lanes. So that's what Origen are starting to look at and starting to set up. But they've been quite committed. It's kind of like they want Soaz to play that side lane and just TP and win.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Origen will look to make a play here. PowerOfEvil was trying to do it onto Fox in the bottom lane. Wasn't quite in range for the distortion because the pack has just gone off Fox. They got the global announcement. It's like, okay, let's play defensive or just get barreled. PowerOfEvil, amazing, trying to back away. Culling comes across as well. It's a bit of damage onto Mithy and amazing as they back away. PowerOfEvil trying to put some poke down to try and soften up their targets before they go in.
Followed up with a fight over the Raptor.
Yep.
That's exactly what this game has become. 30 minutes in, 8 kills to 11, with all of Unicorns occupied in the middle lane. It allowed Soaz to shove all the way to the inner turrets, but he only gets a little bit of damage down before he backs away. Well, 50% of his tower, that's quite a lot, actually.
Power's pushing the bottom lane out at the same time, and Fox comes through. Are we rounding that as well?
Yeah. We can round potentially.
Just check. Hey, I'm not the maths genius.
No,
quite the opposite.
It's Colin Spellsy.
Yeah, I don't think we need to waste his time.
No.
Yeah. Well, regardless of that fact, Stress, you were talking about Soaz pushing in the top lane, and
yes,
the fact Unicorns are being pulled in multiple directions.
But the thing is, Power came down to the bottom lane, and without teleport, it meant that you had 2 choices. Either Unicorns could look to fight elsewhere on the map and look to try and take the numbers advantage, or they send Fox down to the bottom lane and clear it out, which is what they actually did. Unicorns had, the chance maybe to go aggressive, but trying that at this point is, potentially losing the series. Unicorns are one big mistake away from losing this game and losing this series and being out of the playoffs.
Alternatively, they're one big play away for keeping their series hopes alive. Because if they just let themselves get pushed in over and over, we've actually heard multiple times throughout the split that teams feel if you're not playing aggressively, playing on the front foot, you are in fact losing the game. Wave clear is relatively good here with, actually I think it's pretty good with Gangplank, Corki. But another Baron, and that makes the cannon barrage, that makes the barrels significantly less effective.
Problem is, Unicorns of Love, it's so difficult for them to make a proactive play with a poke composition, with Corki, with Nidalee, and if you don't have the package on Fox, then you don't really have a way into a fight apart from Hylissang getting a flank. It's very difficult for him to come in from the front door, especially with Poppy, so they're really just waiting for Origen to contest an objective and then Unicorns of Love to contest them, or for Origen to dive into them and maybe they can kite away and make something happen. So it's difficult for Unicorns of Love, so we're just seeing a lot of farming right now from Unicorns until they see a slip up from Origen, because they are still in control of this game, despite the actually extra tower going over the Unicorns.
Yeah, this is a tense situation, because if somebody steps too far out and PowerOfEvil gets those chains locked down, that would be a kill going down right before Baron is about to spawn. I mean, Unicorns, if that Baron goes over, as you guys said, it is going to be curtains for them, because they will suffer from that wave clear. Suddenly, Corki becomes far less effective at clearing out waves than he should be. But, interestingly, down on the bottom side of the map, you can see Soaz and Chachi going head-to-head. Now, Soaz can never really push Chachi all the way in because of the barrels, but he's just keeping him pinned down there for a little while longer.
But advantage will be to Origen, because if they both want a TP, then Chachi will get interrupted by Soaz, whereas Chachi doesn't have a way to interrupt Soaz. So as long as Soaz stays in range of Chachi, they will have the TP advantage, theoretically. And Origen is pressuring all the lanes as well. Mithy, if he gets caught, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, and I also like that point, because Origen have already shown this series that they are willing to throw a valuable member forward if it means the play will work out. Case in point, Sven's Lucian with the Kindred Lamb's Respite as backup. Regardless, Origen are heavily committed to this 1-3-1. They've got some disengage with Lucian and with Trundle, so wave clear with Zven, and they're just waiting for UOL to fall apart. Look, tower secured just from playing the map. Soaz, he doesn't even care about the tower. Knows he can trade basically untouched because the rest of UOL were in vision.
Yeah, he did get fairly chunked, like a third of his HP, so he will go back to base. I'm not sure, is that a good decision? I mean, bot lane, now Chachi's also recalling, but it gives up the pressure. Now that Origen are also on Baron, I guess it gives them the home guard advantage.
Yeah, they're looking for the TP play from home guard. Oh, there's TP coming out from Chachi.
Unicorns of Love
trying
to stay alive. PowerOfEvil's over on the side, and Origen have peeled away. Amazing with the Jukes, dashes back with Mithy's in trouble and down low, but Hilly's up on the front line. Unicorns are way, way healthier as Amazing goes with the defensive kick back. That will send Loulex flying as the hammer comes down, but Origen, they get punished for trying the Baron.
Yeah, really weird TP coming out from Soaz. I mean, the area he had to TP in was the enemy jungle where the Unicorns were standing, but it was so late that it meant Chachi was already in the fight before anything had even begun. Uh-oh, now Unicorns have started the Baron. We actually saw this in the last game, and this backfired spectacularly for them. 5k health left. Unicorns stuck in the pit against Origen.
Origen have to do something here, and that's the spike going down. Loulex will pick it up, but Unicorns, they're stuck in the pit, and now Soaz will be getting in here.
He's already got a kill. It's 2 for 2. Defensive flashes as Fox, Loulex, and Chachi run away. The enhanced recall means they will be able to get away. Mithy's in trouble. Loulex bounces out. 2 members of Unicorns are down. Mithy interrupts Chachi. This should be another kill for Zven. 3 members dead, and Origen have to deal with 2 members with Baron.
Yeah, 2 members with Baron do remain. One slightly problematic thing now for the Unicorns is that Fox picked up the package. Where does he use it is the question. He might have to reuse it to get away at this point, but Fox doing a good job of grabbing the package and home guarding out, utilizing it because he thought he could get to the fight in time, but had to second guess himself. So down went the Baron early on, and it looked to be disastrous for the Unicorns with how low they were, stacked against the Sivir, but Zven is auto-attacking the ward because he's got no targets, and is just like, well, I'm just going to deal with what I can. I can't make it over that wall. So just clears that out from here. Mithy didn't get the interrupt on the pillar, but it was enough from the damage, and of course Zven trying to keep himself healthy, get that life steal up the ward.
Yeah, that all started with PowerOfEvil landing a fantastic double distort onto 3 people, which trumped them, and then just allowed the rest of the Unicorns to, or the rest of Origen to clean up.
That was close.
That was quite close, because like the
50?
smite was used. Regardless, Amazing picks up Dragon number 3. PowerOfEvil got the damage down before he was focused, but I think also so crucial, Soaz did not care. He was in the middle of 4 members of Unicorns and just saying, come at me, bro. And managed to work out in his favor. Baron buff will allow Unicorns to siege just a little while, and it's going to be up to Zven to get those ricochets down and try to clear out the wave.
Yeah, Unicorns, it's weird because they kind of have an advantage here because they still have a Baron on 2 people, so they will be pushing in, and you can see the degradation of gold from Unicorns of Love over time. Origen now swinging into their favor, but this game is very close. It's never swung outside of really 4,000 gold. Hylissang maybe going down here. That's a very late unbreakable will, but he'll be surviving for an extra couple seconds. He'll flash away, and that's a heal coming out, but now the unbreakable will wears off, and Amazing will take him out.
How much more can Origen take? Looking to chase. Teleport will be up for Soaz in just a little while. Cannon Barrage will dissuade any further chase. And Origen back away, content with the kill, and content to delay this Baron buff that's still on UOL.
Man, Origen bunched through Tribush. If those barrels hadn't have been good from Chachi, that probably would have been Origen catching up there. Zven didn't have his ultimate available, but this was the top lane catch onto Hilly. He loses so much health right now. And then again, look at Mithy, pillaring off Fox's position to come through the jungle to assist. He's just blocking so many of these small pathways, and Origen are able to take better fights because of it. Thinks oh.
Something happened here.
They deaded each other.
They traded.
Yep, they deaded each other.
Okay.
We might get a replay of that, I'm not quite sure. Regardless of the fact, without Steelback on the front front line or to deal the damage. Maybe Origen had some advantage. PowerOfEvil, amazing. He dashes forward under the tower. Tower's being focused as Soaz is running around in circles. Soaz is getting tanked. They've killed Loulex. Just double kill for Spade.
British
And then
comes
one
out,
more.
claims 2 kills. That's the triple kill coming out, and just like that, this may be the game here. Origen just flip the switch, go into the base, and crush everything in front of them.
They found themselves 4 members of the Unicorns of Love. Soaz is going to wind up the hammer, fires it out. It won't find Chachi, but Zven doesn't care. He's flashed forward. 2 critical hits back to back, and the rest of Origen, they're onto the Nexus turrets. The first one is falling. The second is done shortly, and Origen will be performing a clean sweep. They keep their hopes of another final alive.
When they kill the Nexus.
It's not the most excited we've seen Origen.
Yeah.
And it was
Somber.
a confident 3-0.
It was always the question coming in, which team took the 2 weeks better to prepare? It's Origen, unequivocally.
1, 2, 3.
Origen!
Also the first time we've seen Nico on stage with the team as well. You got to think about how much that impacts them in terms of picks and bans, because there was impact there, of course. And yeah, we were thinking whether Unicorns of Love and their gambit in that game, targeting PowerOfEvil would pay off. Ultimately, it didn't. There just wasn't enough from them in this game or this series.
No, I mean the Unicorns were really sloppy actually when you look at some of their play, but Origen were very crisp even in some of the fights that shouldn't have been happening. I mean, it's a tough loss to take because it's kind of a 50-50. It's not like you can just say, well, you know, in every single scenario they outplayed us. Some points were just Unicorns letting small errors become big errors, and that expands into a loss.
Very, very serious somber looks there from Sheepy as he leads the Unicorns off stage. And, you know, I have to echo what you're saying, Stress, like that multiple times in games 2 and 3, Unicorns earned several thousand gold lead. Multiple times, Origen were punished. They fell behind. But being out of position and being caught out allowed Origen back in the game. And then I do think both teams demonstrated a willingness to go forward. Not always in the best way, but I do prefer the proactive, aggressive plays, even if they're messy, than, you know, sitting back just waiting to lose.
Exciting to watch.
Sure.
And it's exciting also to watch the bottom lane from Origen, Zven and Mithy, actually looking like we've seen them.
Yeah.
And it's not for the fact that you could say, oh, you know, Steelback and Hilly maybe didn't show up. No, Steelback performed well in these games as well, but it was exciting to see Zven and Mithy actually performing up to maybe what we've come to expect from them.
Yeah, the problem was there was a lot of moments in that game that were just like, but why though moments, you know?
Yeah.
Like they just go for fights because, oh, Raptors is up, let's go fight over it. Like it didn't really make a lot of sense. And now they're going up against H2K, who are a very smart team. I feel like they're just going to get taken apart.
Yeah, we'll have to find out when we get there. And also, what Peke factor was there? He wasn't needed today. Maybe he'll be needed for H2K. We're going to head to Pyrotechnics on stage to talk to the victorious Origen.